Okay, we're right back.
Mm-hmm.
As I was saying, in the Braun GP thing, I think they were the first team to have a double diffuser, but then two other teams, like, I don't know, I guess because of the way their car was built, structurally, it was really easy for them to put in another diffuser.
Yeah.
And so they did it, and Braun GP was still winning, and everyone was like, "Oh, the double diffuser is why they're winning." And even like in the documentary, they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, two other teams had them, and we were still wiping the floor with them,
Yeah.
bastards." Like that wasn't what made us great.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about supercars at the moment. Is like, oh, the Camaros are winning. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, don't you think it's because they have better drivers?
Yeah, yeah. See, this is why I like the idea of stock cars.
Yeah.
Because like only the guy is what matters then.
Yeah. Mind people still cheating it, which is quite.
Well, I mean, it's just sports.
These aren't timers and a bastard to get right. So it's that one first. So it's that one I have to get. Those two I have to get last. Fucking.
Yes, it was a clown. Very clever.
Okay.
Return in haste.
That was a weird puzzle.
Oh, it's creepy and shit in the first one. Because all of a sudden this like thing just starts laughing maniacally and like flipping around. It's like, ah!
So fun fact, I didn't start a clock this episode. And I just did. So that's the thing that's going to happen.
Yep.
That's the thing we're going to deal with.
Yes.
Yeah,
like that's the main reason I don't watch racing, because it just
too many bitches.
Yes. And yeah, like everyone like takes a piss out of NASCAR, but that's the only one that still has like just regulations. If your car does not meet regulations, fuck off.
Yeah. Honestly, that right there was probably the best ad I've ever heard for NASCAR.
Mine, there still are cheats, but yeah, they get found out. It's like, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, I like it. But even the concept that it's you find someone who's cheating and then they get booted.
Yeah.
Not, oh, this person's doing better than us. We think it's unfair. Let's have like a trial and then an appeal process. And just like, fuck off.
Yeah. No, that guy's just leaving us for dead. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Understood. Blah, 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 blah.
What's happening right now?
I'm trying to remember which one this one is, because
Longbow.
Can you kill this one? Yep.
Got him.
Yeah.
Fish X.
Look at like cheats in racing, because it's the amazing things they did to cheat in racing was like, who the hell thinks of that?
Really?
Yeah, just a lot of that.
Should I focus on a particular league or?
No, just cheats in racing. It's a huge fucking thing. People have been banned with it, like techniques that could be used. The boost tank in rally, that was banned.
25 times racing teams cheated so well they deserved to keep their trophies.
Yeah, it's a good one. Where is it? That pretty thing is the elephant, I think.
The term cheating doesn't really apply to racing. Disagree.
Yeah.
Now, before anyone starts complaining like just the purity of true champions, let us explain. Every race team out there has to push as far as they possibly can in order to win. That doesn't just mean pushing the car on the track, but the limits, interpretation of the rules, and the regulations apply to the cars they put on the track. In the words of Darryl Waltrip, after he got caught for using nitrous oxide in the 76 Daytona 500, if you don't cheat, you look like an idiot. If you do it and you don't get caught, you look like a hero. If you do it and get caught, you look like a dope. Put me in the category where I belong.
Kitty!
Ah, what?
Cats.
Oh. Oh, you said kitties. Yeah. Of course, we don't condone cheating, but it shouldn't come as part of the road trip to rules and sports. Let's figure out how the rules can be bent without breaking them. Another word for cheating is innovation. Okay, let's... Smoking Onyx basketball in the gas tank. What?
Yep.
NASCAR mandated how much gas the tank could hold, which leads us to one of Smokey's best known tricks. Basically, it involved shoving an inflated basketball into an oversized fuel tank before the car was inspected by scrutineers. When they filled the tank up with fuel, the tank would appear to conform with regulations. After passing the tank inspection, Smokey would then deflate the ball when no one was looking, pull it out of the tank, and fill the regulation plus basketball-sized fuel tank for the race, giving him a nice fuel capacity advantage. What a cocknose.
Yeah. It is a good one, though. It's like, where do I go? Like, I have to get a rat all the way there. Avoid all the cats. Get the rat to this elephant.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How? Can you pick them up?
No. I have to get a rat. Where from?
That's crazy. Waltrip's heavy metal. NASCAR weighed the cars before the race to make sure they were at the minimum, but not after. While Waltrip's team would fill frame rails with BBs or buckshot to meet the weight requirements, then during the race he'd pull a wire that opened a trapdoor on the frame rail, and the BBs would scatter behind him on the back straight. However, one time a crewman washed the car and got the BBs wet. They stuck together and didn't escape until Waltrip was driving down pit lane, with BBs pelting crew members from other teams as well as NASCAR officials. Ferrari's flexible floor. The efficient passage of air over and under a Formula 1 car is critical to its performance. There are many restrictions imposed by the technical regulations, one of which prohibits certain parts of the bodywork from moving in order to gain a performance advantage. The floor in an F1 car is a critical area, and Ferrari incorporated a clever spring fastener that allowed the floor of their car to flex more than it would when at speed,
Oh, there you are.
but which was perfectly legal when measured while the car was stationary. So there's a Red Bull Formula 1 racing team.
Yeah.
What car do they drive?
F1. It's not a specific car, I don't think.
But like, where do they get the parts? It's like a Ferrari car has parts that are built by Ferrari.
Yeah. I think they're just like a team sponsor.
Yeah, but like, that doesn't answer my question.
I'm trying to do things and think.
So
You hate it when I do this to you.
true, but like, I'm asking, do you know, or
Not really. No.
aerodynamics is the name of the game in the ultra high-tech world of Formula 1. This is Red Bull's Formula 1 front wing. Already at the top of their field, the 2011 Red Bull Formula 1 team employed a dynamic front wing in order to skirt the rules set forth by the FIA. The wing was not influenced by the driver, the only input was the airspeed over the wing. At a standstill, the wing sat in a legal location with right height and spec. As the floor of air increased the speed, the wing would deflect down and close the gap between the car and the asphalt. Okay. Toyota's WRC restrictor plate bypass.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Yeah, okay. Toyota's devious cheat was so ingenious, Max Mosley, head of the FIA at the time, had to admit with grudging respect. Toyota's system bypassed the restrictor plates used to keep speeds down during the 1995 season of the WRC, and was virtually undetectable by inspectors. A series of perfectly balanced springs moved the plate in question out of the way while the car was at full throttle, producing 50 horsepower more than the competition, who were capped at 300 horses. 300 horsepower?
Yeah.
That's not a lot. In Formula 1?
Not rally.
Ah.
You're going over dirt and shit like that. You don't need that much power.
Yeah, okay.
Well, Group B used to be like 600 horsepower.
Yeah. A series of perfectly balanced sprint. Okay. While at rest, it took special tools to even budge the plate, and disassembling the turbo revealed almost no evidence of tomfoolery. Once caught, FIA banned Toyota for the 95 and 96 season. Roger Penske's acid-dipped Camaro.
That's a good one.
Okay. Roger Penske and Mark Donohue contacted Lockheed Aerospace in order to have their Chevrolet Camaro acid-dipped before the 1967 SCCA Trans Am campaign. The process meant the car dropped almost 400 pounds from its curb weight and made its structure so flimsy that a massive roll cage had to be installed as a secondary frame. SCCA stewards banned the ultralight Camaro, but that didn't deter Penske or Donohue from engaging inspectors in a game of cat and mouse by entering the car alongside other legal Chevrolet at future races, and moving numbers and other identifying features back and forth between the two cars. Oh my god. What a bunch of shits.
Yep.
Did they get banned?
Well, how they actually found out they'd been acid dipped is someone put their clipboard on top of the Camaro.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they could hear this as the metal starts shearing away.
No fucking way.
And they punched the top of it and just went. Psh!
That's fucking what? That's so unsafe.
I know. I'm just thinking, it was like, if I started racing like the airflow would make that thing just go. Just all over the
Yeah,
place.
right? Like, did they actually race with that?
Yep.
Fucking suicidal.
Oh, whatever it takes to win.
Ken Schrader's Seattle Smokescreen. When NASCAR's Ken Schrader was competing in a short track event in Seattle, he realized that his tires weren't going to last the 10 laps that stood between him and the checkered flag after a restart. Bunched up the field. 6 laps later, after the second place car had almost caught him, he decided to simulate an engine failure by grabbing his in-car fire extinguisher, pointing it out the window and pulling the pin. Thinking the smoke was a sign his motor was about to blow, his competitors backed off just enough to let him first cross the finish line.
Bastard.
That's so did that get taken away from him?
I don't know. Read on, did it?
No, it's not including that.
Ow!
Not including the aftermath.
It should do.
It's a fucking listicle. This isn't in-depth. Audi's WRC swap meet. What is WRC?
World Rally Championship.
Okay. In 1985, WRC cars didn't carry TV cameras, and helicopters didn't shadow competitors across stages. Audi Works driver Michelle Mountain started an Ivory Coast WRC stage with a seriously ill Audi Quattro, with engineer Franz Mount's mechanically similar support car right behind. Mountain emerged from the stage after losing a lot of time. Her car miraculously cured and no sign of Brown's support car. The official explanation, a faulty oil pump had been replaced. There would later be accusations of not just an engine swap, but of a car swap. The rally car's panels had been transplanted onto the healthy support car. Brabham's water-cooled brakes. By 1982, the turbo era had begun, but many stuck with a naturally aspirated Cosworth V12 rather than turbo V8s. Unable to complete on outright power, the V12 teams found another way to improve power to weight. Lotus designer Colin Chapman was credited with the idea, but Brabham's Nelson Piquet argued to put water-cooled brakes to best use, winning the 82 Brazilian GP temporarily. The new technology had nothing to do with actually cooling the brakes. During the early laps, the water was dumped from the brake reservoirs, some say 60 litres. Post-race, the teams topped up all the fluids as the rules dictated, thus meeting the minimum weight requirement. Volvo's angled BTCC head. Who doesn't love Volvo's BTC series entries in the 1990s?
Don't even know what it is.
Yeah, basically there were restrictions on the angle of the valves inside the head. Volvo, or more likely TWR, legendarily conniving boss Tom Walkinshaw, circumvented the rules and that most little senses. If you couldn't change the angle of things inside the head, then change the angle of the head itself to create a more advantageous inlet. Oh, okay. Luthunder's lack of reverse gear.
What?
Cheating on a racing technical inspection, or during scrutineering, is a lot easier while the tech inspectors won't even check half of the vehicle requirements. Not only was Blue Thunder being sketchy about their money to pay for the racing and beating top teams, they used a transmission that was known for not being able to handle the torque of the V8s, yet theirs were very reliable. There was a reason for that. They removed the reverse gear, which was illegal, and that allowed them to run slightly beefier gears, and tech inspection failed to check that the entire season. So they just got rid of reverse.
Yeah.
Adjustable rear window.
Here we go.
Huh?
This annoyed the shit out of me because, like, in the original game, there was one, like, you could have one hit and that was it. And it just stayed there.
What the fuck? Smokey Yonic's size trick. Few, if any, could bend the rules like Smokey Yonic. According to urban legend, Yonic built a 7 to 8 scale version of Curtis Tuner's Chevelle, but the urban legend exaggerates a little. Yonic actually moved the body back on the chassis To improve weight balance and aerodynamics, he raised the floor and smoothed it out to enhance airflow. Oh, okay. Richard Petty's tire swap. Another day that lives on in NASCAR cheating infamy was October 9th, 1983 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, when Richard Petty sailed to a win. NASCAR inspectors found two reasons. Petty's crew had put left side tires on the right side, and vice versa, which would have made for a nice, if brief, advantage. For an even bigger advantage, Petty's engine measured 381.983 cubic inches compared to the legal 358. Petty ended up being fined and docked 104 points, but he was allowed to keep the victory, amidst great complaints from all his rivals. Tyrell's lead shot. From now on, I'm going to see if you know any of these. See if they're worth hearing. Tyrell's lead shot.
Haven't even heard of that one.
It's a Formula One one.
In
the mid-1980s, Tyrrell Racing was having trouble keeping up with the rest of the pack. They were using turbochargers, a technology that Tyrrell couldn't afford. Given that the lack of forced induction meant that the team's car was lighter than the series spec, it began to use ballast tanks filled with water, and lead shot. It turned out that by dumping 140 pounds of lead into the tank at the very end of the race, the team could fool officials into thinking the tanks hadn't been bled dry during the event itself, dropping the car under the weight requirement. So they had things to make sure they were heavy enough.
Yeah.
And then they expelled it over the course of the race, and then added it in before they got checked at the end.
Yeah.
McLaren's extra brake.
Oh yeah, that was. I think they actually started using it in motorsport because it was like a secondary brake because it kept pulling to one side, so they used it so it made it dart into one side. I'm pretty sure.
1997 McLaren's MP4/12 was brand new, exceptionally good at going around corners, maybe a little too good. It had been outfitted with a unique braking system that allowed its pilots to activate just one of its rear discs if they wanted to.
Yep.
In effect, smoothing out understeer and improving the car's ability to pivot. It came to light after Darren Heath, an F1 photographer, snapped images of the McLaren's rear brakes glowing red hot despite the fact that the car was in the middle of rocketing forward. Michael Schumacher's launch control system. Michael Schumacher's first World Championship Formula 1 came in 1994. Electronic driver's aids were against the rules for 1994, but the Benetton car had raised suspicion that it might be using a launch control system. Gordon Murray's adjustable ride height.
That could be interesting. Because
yeah.
Gordon Murray is the creator of my favorite car ever made.
Oh, really?
McLaren F1. It is center seated.
The amount of air passing underneath the car is at least as important as how air flows over it. When it comes to competitive aerodynamics, this is why there's a minimum ride height. No, we've still got time.
I was going to say because I just checked on that and I've got 10 minutes.
Of course, the only way to measure how high a given race car is off the ground is to wait until it comes to a complete stop. Gordon Murray designed a Formula 1 car for Brabham in 1981 that used air pressure to drop it below the 6 centimeter limit on the course. Once back in the pits, the car's shock absorbers use a hydraulic reservoir to push back up to spec. Okay. So, a car lower to the ground is better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lowers the center of gravity.
Okay. You can continue.
Well, we've got 2 minutes left, so I thought I'd call
2
it
minutes? Oh, yeah.
Because you didn't said it.
What happened? Where did the clock go? Wait, my phone's fucking up. What's happening?
Peggy's phone's just died.
It's going spastic. What's going on?
We'll be back, viewers.
Yeah, see us.
Yeah.